Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. Today we're going to be talking about when to rush and when to just play support. And that just means playing a little bit slower, hanging back for your teammates, and making sure that you watch flanks and things like that. So let's get started. And to give credit where credit is due, this question came from Super JKL in one of my previous videos. So shout out to him for the request. And I'm going to tell you the best way I know how. So like in this situation right here, I ended up running up and pushing up to the objective because I had some solid callouts. They said one person's down, one person just went upstairs. So push. So I ended up going forward and pushing into OBJ, getting that and getting the 2 kills to win the round. But primarily, what you want to do when it comes to rushing, right? You never just want to waste your life because in Rainbow Six Siege you die pretty quickly. You never want to just waste your life and waste all your utilities. So if you're playing the rusher, then you need to coordinate with your teammates and actually get somebody that can support themselves. So like somebody like Zofia, Buck, Sledge, you can rush with those people, and obviously Ash and IQ, because they're 3 speeds, they can open up walls and they can get to objective rather quickly. But like I said, you need to have somebody there with you to actually drone out for you so that you don't get picked off on your way in. Or if you're just trying to take over a room, you need to either drone it out yourself or you have to have a teammate drone it out for you. My best advice for you is to have a teammate do it and give you call outs, either so that you only have to watch one direction, or if they can drone the entire room so that you can just take it over and then cover them while they come in. You could do something like that, like if you're taking top control. So that would be when you need to rush and how you should do it. When you should play support is obviously when you have somebody rushing and they need that cover, they need that drone. Droning is very, very important in this game because if you don't drone, that's how you get picked off by people like Caveira, anybody waiting in the bushes or anything like that. You know how it is. Like you run into a room and all of a sudden somebody that just wasn't there is there, and then you watch the kill cam and they like stood up from underneath a desk or something. You're like, what the hell? Like I just droned in there. So those types of situations are the ones that you want to avoid. And the support characters are the ones that will help you do that. You just have to work together as a team and not be selfish. All right. Now, some of my favorite characters in this game are support characters. Like as you can see here, I'm using Lion. But people like Thermite, people like Sledge, they can be used interchangeably. But a lot of times if you have a Sledge, like a map like this, for instance, when their objective is downstairs, you've seen where a Sledge is upstairs destroying the floor while Ash and IQ and Zofia and everybody else and their mama is like pushing you from the front, but then you can't maneuver around to, like get to a different point of view because there's a hole in the ceiling above you and you might get picked. So then you get stuck getting pushed from 2 directions and from above. That's the type of high intensity pressure that you start to see in the higher ranks. And if you use it, and let's say, for instance, you're in the silver gold range or even lower, and you start using strats like that, if you have a full team, there's no way that you won't make it out of that division because you just don't see it often. So keep that in mind when you go and pick your operators. Pick the people that are going to be useful for the objectives that you want to attack or that you think the enemy is going to go, and then run accordingly. So if you need somebody to create pressure by getting in there quickly, so somebody needs to rush or be able to maneuver quickly, like you need an Ash or IQ or somebody like that, so that, for instance, if there's a soft wall, you need to be able to blow it and take advantage of that opening. The drone phase is important at the beginning of the game because this is a video about when to rush. These are the types of little decisions at the beginning that make rushing possible. And when there's like, let's say, for instance, they leave the back wall unreinforced, and this, 2 Ash chargers will open up a line of sight straight into objective, or 2 Zofia grenades, or whatever her launcher is called. So 2 of those will open up 2 holes that will lead a line of sight straight into objective. And then the advantage that you now have is the backside is now dangerous for the defenders. So you always want that type of situation where they have to worry about a certain area and they can't cross it because they know somebody's there, because everybody else that's around pushing is going to be almost free to move about freely. Obviously you have to worry about the roamers, but everybody in objective is not focused on wherever they're coming from. They're like, we have to look behind us because if we look on the stairs, we'll get picked from behind, or we have to look at the stairs or wherever you made the opening, because now they have to address that issue. So keep that in mind when you pick your operators, and keep that in mind when you set up your attacks. You got to look for the weak points, and then you got to exploit it. Your rushing, your 3 speeds and 2 speeds that have utilities that can get into, create lines of sight like Buck, Sledge, Ash. You need to use those people effectively and do so. You need to open those lines of sight. I found a clip here that was a good example. Thermite opens up the wall. Mira stops watching where she was initially watching. I drop down hatch after using a concussion grenade, and I'm able to take 2 kills and pin down Ella in the bathroom. So we all know Ella's in the bathroom because I had droned her and I scanned her a couple times to scare her, left it there, and essentially from there we just pushed to the team and took out, we had to win our gunfights, but we took out the rest of the enemies. So that's what I'm talking about right there. So one parting tip is that Rainbow Six Siege is a team game. You have to play together as a team. Sometimes you'll be the one fragging out. Sometimes you'll be the one supporting. We all have those games, right? The key to it is taking that role and just going with it. So if you're the one that's droning for a rusher, then drone to the best of your ability. If you're the one rushing, then listen to the callouts and use your game sense as well. So with that said, I hope you guys learned something from the video. If you have anything to add, then go ahead and drop that in the comments section. I'll be sure to check those out. If I get a really good one, then I'll pin it so that everyone can see it. And yeah, thanks for the request, Super JKL. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Be easy.